Today we're getting back to basics with a big block Chevy. And you know what? It's all about camshafts. The camshaft is the heart and soul of any performance motor, so it's important to know how to install one properly. Now this baby already has a healthy solid roller cam from Comp Cams and makes almost 1,200 horsepower. It's got the right cam already. But you know what? Out on the dyno, we've got another big block just begging for the right profile. So let's get back to basics and install that cam. Hey guys, as you can see, we're on the dyno with a perfect candidate for our cam swap. Underneath all this grease and grime is a 454 big block Chevy. I know, 2 thumbs up, big blocks, right? Hey, this particular example is an L29 7.4 liter Gen 6 motor. Now I know that that's a mouthful, but what that means is this motor came originally equipped 1996 to 99 full-size Chevy and GM trucks. And what makes this thing so desirable? There's 2 reasons. One, factory equipped with a hydraulic roller cam. Hydraulic roller cams offer less friction and more power. The other reason, cylinder heads. The previous gen big blocks came with peanut port heads, very small, poor flowing. This thing has full-size oval ports for even more flow. But in addition to the flow, they also came with smaller chambers. So not only did they have more flow, but they also had higher compression. More compression, more power, right? Okay, but this is a truck motor, so the one thing it's missing, cam timing. That's right, they had mild factory cams because they were truck applications, so that means this thing will respond to a cam swap. So let's dive right in and swap that cam. Before you begin the cam swap, you want to rotate the motor to top dead center. TDC. Removing the spark plugs will make it easier to rotate the motor to put it on top dead center. With the motor at top dead center, it's time to remove the valve covers. With the valve covers gone, next comes the factory rocker arms. Make sure to remove the guide plates and push rods as well. Note the length of the push rod. You have longs and shorts. Make sure they go back in their proper position. With the rockers, guide plates, and push rods removed, it's time to take off the distributor, intake manifold, and carburetor. Factory lifter valley tray must be removed to allow access to the lifters and retainers. On this factory hydraulic roller motor, the lifters are retained by a spider assembly. This must be removed. Once the spider assembly was out of the way, you could remove the factory hydraulic roller lifters, starting with the guide, followed by the lifters. With our lifters out of the way, it's time to remove the water pump. Before we could remove the damper, we had to remove the lower crank pulley. Using a damper puller, we remove the damper. With the balancer out of the way, it was time to remove the front cover. We made sure to loosen the oil pan bolts and drop the oil pan so that the timing cover would come off. Before removing the timing chain, make sure that the cam and crank are in the right position. The cam should be oriented with a dowel about 3 o'clock. The dot on the cam sprocket should be pointing down, and the corresponding dot on the crank sprocket should be pointing up. With everything ready, it's time to remove the chain. The late model Gen 6 blocks had a cam retaining plate. This must be removed. Final step is to remove the camshaft. We like to use a long bolt or cam removal tool. Be very careful pulling it out. You don't want to damage the cam bearings. You might need to rotate it a little bit. Hey guys, as you can see, we've got the factory cam out. Now it's time to upgrade. For our 454, we selected a Comp Cam's Extreme Energy 282 hydraulic roller. Now that's a pretty aggressive profile for an otherwise stock motor, but guess what? We got plans to upgrade this baby in the future. In fact, this is about the most cam that you can fit with the available piston to valve clearance. But if you've got a milder application or maybe you're retaining the factory EFI, don't worry, Comp's got you covered. They got plenty of other grinds. But right now, we got the cam, we got the motor. Let's get this baby installed. Hey guys, as you can see, we've got our engine back together. We've got that cam swap, got the rockers on, and the induction system in place. But you know what? Before we run this thing, we had to perform one more upgrade. That Extreme Energy cam was way too much for the factory valve springs. We had to perform a spring swap. If you're interested in that installation, check out the big block spring swap video. But you know what? That's enough talking. Let's warm this baby up and make some noise. Well guys, we finished the dyno testing and all we can say is the results were amazing. It just goes to show you that the right cam, even on a stock motor, is worth big power. On our 454, the Extreme Energy cam was worth 55 horsepower. And you know what? It wasn't just about horsepower either. The torque was up as well by as much as 30 foot-pounds. This baby thumped out 505 foot-pounds of torque. Now that's some serious grunt. So if you've installed the cam in your big block correctly and picked up huge power, that's you getting back to basics.